So good morning students. So next lesson is landlords and tenants under the British and the Nizam. So landlords means who are having more lands in their control. So those are called landlords. Some zamindars, landlords were having thousands of acres under their control. So next one is tenants who took the lands from the zamindars for cultivation on lease. Those are called tenants. Okay. Peasants. Peasants means the farmers who are having a small piece of land or who are not having a land, also called peasants. The farmers who are having small piece of agricultural land or who are not having a agricultural land, also called peasants. Okay, so zamindars and peasants in Mughal times. So at the time of Mughal time, during the Mughal time, Mughals emperors, so the zamindars are having a right to collect the tax on behalf of the emperors. So emperors cannot collect the taxes from their kingdom directly. So they appointed some nayakas or zamindars or landlords to collect the taxes. So in return, so the zamindars or landlords will pay more share to the kings and they retain some share. They retained some share as their income. Okay, and sometimes they have a right to collect some small local taxes also. Instead of taking share from the revenue, they have a right to collect some small taxes from the public. Okay, and they also had a small band of soldiers with horses and guns. So these zamindars and landlords were maintained some army. For what purpose? To collect taxes. If they don't have a army, if they don't have a soldiers, the farmers won't pay the taxes to landlords or zamindars. So that's why they were maintained some band of soldiers. Okay, and their houses were like small ports called Gadi in Telangana. So these zamindars or landlords were lived in small ports. So that is called Gadi in Telangana area. Okay, so that's why they have more power and they are able to control the nearby villages. So as revenue collectors, the zamindars often acted as the intermediaries between the government and the peasants. They acted as a middleman between government and peasants. So they often represented the problems faced by the peasants to the government, and at the same time they tried to implement the rules and regulations imposed by the government. So these landlords or zamindars acted as a middleman between kings and peasants. Okay, so when the peasants faced the problems, they carried those problems to king, and sometimes they implemented rules and regulations which are implemented by the kings also. Okay, so even the zamindars also owned lands and which the laborers worked. So the zamindars, already who are called zamindars, who are having more lands, no? So they are having their own lands, so which are cultivated with the help of laborers. So this was called their self-cultivated land or Khudkast land. This is important. Khudkast land. What is the meaning of Khudkast land? The land which is owned by the zamindars and cultivated by themselves with the help of laborers. That land is called Khudkast land. Okay. So sometimes these zamindars or landlords gave their lands to peasants to cultivate on lease or fixed rent. Okay, sometimes they collect some share of the product also. Okay, next, why they are unable to cultivate thousands of acres of land? So that's why they gave the lands to the landless people on rent. Okay, so we call such landowners as landlords, and the peasants who cultivate their lands as tenant cultivators. Okay, next, who took the lands from the zamindars? Those are called tenant cultivators. So here zamindars are having two important roles. One is collection of land revenue from ordinary peasants, and they are having some lands, owning lands as landlords. Okay, so in the same way, there are two types of peasants are there. There were two types of peasants. So one is the peasants who are having their own land and paying tax to the zamindars. Okay, and the second one is who are tenants of the landlords. So here two types of peasants. One is some peasants are having their own land, they cultivate themselves and they pay tax to the zamindars. Second one is who are not having lands, they took lands from the zamindars and worked as a tenant cultivators. Okay. So in our India at the time, so many artisans were also there. So, and service caste people were also lived. So those are called skilled and manual laborers. Many of them were considered to be of low and untouchable status. Some of them had small plots of land, but mainly got their livelihood from providing service to the farmers and landlords. So these artisans or service caste people were having a small plots or small piece of land, but that was not sufficient for their livelihood. So mostly they got their livelihood from providing services to the farmers and landlords. Okay. Next. Permanent settlement changes introduced by the British. Later, so our country was occupied by the Britishers from kings. Okay, so they implemented different systems in our India. They were keen to increase the land revenue as much as possible to finance their trade and wars. So after captured our India, they tried to increase the land revenue. So for what? To improve their trade and to invest on wars. So this led to the ruining of agriculture, as farmers could not cultivate land under such conditions. So at the time, the farmers were faced great famines, so which killed thousands of people. So at the time, Britishers were realized and they tried to change the revenue system. So they decided to encourage the agriculture also. They decided to encourage the farmers. So they were also keen that peasants should till more and more lands and grow crops that were in demand in the market. So especially cash crops like cotton, indigo, sugarcane, wheat. East India Company officials began to feel that investment in land had to be encouraged and agriculture had to be improved. So now the Britishers decided to encourage the agriculture. First point. So why? So in England there was more demand for cotton, indigo, sugarcane and wheat. So that's why now they showed interest to invest on land to improve the agriculture. So after 2 decades of debate on the question, so the company introduced the Permanent Settlement Act in 1793. This is also called Jamindari system, Jamindari settlement system. Okay, so at the time Governor Cornwallis was the Governor General. So as per this system, so Jamindars were given the powers to collect the revenue agreed upon in auctions. So they conducted auction. So here in this auction, who showed interest to pay more revenue to the Britishers, then those people will get the right to collect the auction on some area. Okay, so in that system, the Jamindar should repay 90% of the revenue to the Britishers, and they can retain 10% of the revenue as collection charges. Out of 100 rupees, they have to pay 90 rupees to Britishers, and they can retain 10 rupees with them as collection charges. Okay, so the amount to be fixed, to be paid was fixed permanently, and that is, it was not to be increased in future according to that condition, according to the Permanent Settlement Act. So the Britishers should not change the amount every year. Okay, that should be fixed. So what they felt that if they implement this system, the Jamindars would invest money to improve the agriculture, then they will get more revenue from the peasants. But here Jamindars won't invest more money on agriculture to improve the crops, but they try to collect the revenue from the peasants. Okay, the Jamindars, however, collected more revenue than agreed upon through auction. So they try to increase the revenue and changed the cultivators who did not meet the demand. So to get more income, so what they did, they increased the taxes, and they changed the cultivators frequently. So that's why peasants unable to pay the taxes, and they leave the profession. Since rent collected was much higher than the revenue, so the cultivators could not pay the entire amount and sometimes deserted the lands. They were unable to cultivate the land. In the long run, the Jamindars also suffered and became defaulters. So already they agreed to pay the fixed amount to the Britishers, but they are unable to collect that much amount from the peasants. Why? Because the taxes are more. Okay, frequently they changed the cultivators. So that's why the farmers are unable to cultivate lands and they are unable to pay the taxes. Okay, next, the result. So the company officials soon discovered that the Jamindars were in fact not investing in the improvement of land. Okay, and so many Jamindars unable to repay the taxes to the government. So at the time, anyone who failed to pay the revenue lost his Jamindari. So that's why numerous jamindaris were sold off at auctions organized by the company. So here the old jamindars were replaced by the new jamindars. Why? Because those were the defaulters. They are unable to pay the agreed amount to the Britishers. Okay. By 1820, the situation was changed. So the prices of grains in the market rose and cultivation slowly expanded. So this meant an increase in the income of the jamindars, but no gain for the company, as it could not increase the revenue demand that had been fixed permanently. So those were conducted auction. So those were fixed the amount for a year. That's why even jamindars got more income, but the Britishers not benefited for this system. Even then, the jamindars were not interested to improving the land, so they never invest the amount to improve the lands. They increased the taxes only. So as long as jamindars could give out the land to tenants and get rent, they were not interested in improving the land. Later population was increasing rapidly, and the jamindars could keep evicting peasants and giving the land to new owners at higher rents. So here farmers were increased. So the jamindars were changed the tenants frequently. On the other hand, in the villages, the cultivators found the system extremely oppressive. The rent they paid to the jamindars was high, and their rent right on the land was insecure. So to pay the rent, they had to take loans from the moneylenders, and when farmers failed to pay the rent, they were evicted from the land they had cultivated for generations. So like that, the farmers were suffered under the jamindari system. Clear? So we will discuss Raitu Wari system in the next class. Thank you.